Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. Vince McShane with you here. This is Hot Mic. Opportunity where we can jump on board here and go live with the chat. So I've pinned it to the top there. There is a Skype site. Just click on that link if you'd like. It's microphone only. There's no video, so you don't have to worry about that part if that's something that bothers you. And let's just jump in and start talking about anything. It could be anything with 2K22, 2K19, 2K20, although nobody even looks at 2K20, I don't think, anymore. Of course, we can talk about real-life stuff going on in the world of wrestling as well. And on that note, I want to talk about Impact last night. Impact was good. They're getting so much better. The roster is solid. If you didn't see it, it emanated from the 2300 Arena, better known as the ECW Arena, and they did a great job. The only thing I have not seen myself yet is the main event. I was just tired, and I said I'll watch it tomorrow, and I still haven't yet, but I'm going to. So it's going to be a bit of a spoiler for me as well as I go through this, but I don't mind. They started out by paying homage to the building itself by having Guido and I forget who joined him. Let's see if it mentions here. Tony, yeah, of course. Guido and Tony came out. Mama Luke. And got into it with Matt Cardona and his new bestest friend, Brian Myers. Go figure. They did a pretty soft transition because these guys have been going at each other in Impact now. It was a bad idea for a feud. I mean, everyone knows that they're best friends. They do podcasts together. They collect action figures together. If you're going to make a couple of guys enemies that might be friends, try not to make them the guys that are actually always together. I mean, it didn't ever work as a feud that you bought, okay? So that all said, they are now friends, and they just barely glossed over the transition. There was nobody coming to anybody else's save or anything like that. They're just like, you know, here in the Impact ring, we've been at odds, but now we realize we're really, on the same page. Okay. Made as much sense as having them feud with each other, in my opinion. So now they're a tag team, and they're going up against Tony, and didn't end well for Tony, as you might imagine. So I think he looked pretty good, Matt did, in that one, and Brian as well. Let's see what we got here. Josh Alexander sent a physical message out to Moose just 2 nights before their personal world title showdown. Yeah, they've got the big pay-per-view coming up this Saturday. Not sure if I'm going to go with the pay-per-view thing yet, although I might. I'm on the fence right now. It'll be a game-time decision for me how tired I am, if I'm going to be able to sit through it or not. But it's Impact Rebellion this Saturday, April 23rd, live on pay-per-view. So we got Josh Alexander going at it with Moose. I didn't really care for Josh Alexander up until recently. And mostly because I've seen him more in street gear getting into altercations. It's his ring attire that just doesn't work for me. With the amateur headgear on and some of the other stuff he's got going on. It just, I don't know, maybe you guys feel differently. By the way, of course, as always, the chat comments board is open, so you can go that way as well. But if you want to get in on the Hot Mic action, all you got to do is click on the link. I've got it pinned on the top of the chat board. And Skype on in, and again, it's just going to be audio, no video. I know some people are a little skittish about getting on camera. You don't have to. Wrestling Purist is in the house. Hello there, sir. What's my thought about AEW and New Japan's Forbidden Door event? Somebody asked me that the other day, and the answer is pretty much still the same. When it comes to New Japan Pro Wrestling, I don't have a really deep knowledge of their roster, their history, a little bit here and there, but I mean, honest to God, you could put up their top 10 performers and show me 8x10 glossies. I don't know if I'd be able to name one of them and get it right. It's like I know I'm even drawing a blank now. I don't know their talent. That's not to say they don't have any or that it's not exciting wrestling. But am I excited about it? How do I get excited about something I don't know? So it's good that 2 promotions are coming together to do a pay-per-view. I wish it was Impact in AEW. I don't know why that relationship didn't do more. There was so much potential there, and now when you look at the Impact roster, by God, these two rosters could really put on some matches that would be exciting. So to answer your question, that's another one of those game time things for me. I'll have to see how it develops over the next several weeks and whether or not they can stoke my interest enough to go into a pay-per-view. It'll all depend. What's going to get me in the door more on that is going to be the AEW aspect of it. Like, what's the main event? Who's going to be challenging for the titles? And do I think there could be a title change? So we'll see. But right now, am I excited about it? Personally, no, but only because I don't know the New Japan Pro Wrestling product. And I think they might find out that there's more. I don't know. The AEW wrestling crowd probably knows more about it than I do. I'm probably in the minority of AEW fans when it comes to the knowledge of New Japan. I think probably 70%, if I'm guessing, of AEW diehard fans are well aware of New Japan. So I think for them, they're probably a lot more excited about it than the 30% who know of New Japan and may have watched a little bit of their U.S. television product. But yeah, that's just, again, I'm not. We'll see. But as of right now, not super stoked about it. What about you, Purist? Is that something you are looking forward to? Cade, welcome aboard, buddy. Say something. I don't hear you. Let me make sure I got the mic levels up. Bring that one down a little bit. All right, I know Cade is in the Skype room with me. I just can't hear anything, so maybe he's working on getting his microphone going.
Hello.
There
Am I
he is.
here?
Yeah, you're here. Welcome aboard. How you doing today?
Hello.
Hello. Can you hear me?
I don't.
Oh, wait. My bad. Hold on. All right, caramba. How about now?
Hello?
Hello?
Okay.
Now you hear me?
Yeah.
That was my bad. Forgot to turn the mic on. Oh, the best laid plans. What can you say? Kate, are you looking forward to the AEW Forbidden Door event with New Japan?
Oh, you know it, brother. It's a freaking inter-promotional pay-per-view. Of course you gotta look forward to it. That's two promotions going head-to-head in matches. That's gonna be amazing. Okada's gonna hit the Rainmaker on Bryan Danielson, presumably. Hangman's gonna do some stuff, probably. They're gonna probably do Kenta versus Punk, which is a match that's been building since Punk decided to steal Kenta's finisher like 20 years ago.
I do know that part.
That's literally been the build for their entire feud.
See, now you've almost now got me convinced that I might want to have to watch this now. I wasn't thinking about the history, but again, I don't really know New Japan too well. I do know about the fact that Punk took the GTS and Americanized it.
Tanahashi literally, like, one of the last storylines that Hangman had in New Japan was that he was being friendly with Hiroshi Tanahashi a lot, and Tanahashi wanted to break him away from Bullet Club so that he could become a better person and the true wrestler he's meant to be. And look at what Hangman is at now in AEW. That's brilliant. Just Hangman versus Tanahashi at the pay-per-view. There you go. Boom. The build's already been there in Japan.
Now we just have to hope all the guys involved in this actually see it that way and book these matches. It would kind of suck if all of a sudden they're fighting other guys.
Yeah.
I think you're right about the CM Punk, though. I don't know how that doesn't happen because, not that I think there's any bad blood between them, but yeah, you can write that story.
The only way I could see it not happening is like maybe if Kenta wins the IWGP Championship and Punk wins the AEW belt, because there's no way both world champions are going up against each other because no one can take the loss there.
Well, they don't have to. There's other ways of getting around that. You could have some sort of run-in, or maybe the Fiend shows up and screws the thing up.
No, not the Fiend at the AEW New Japan show, no.
Well, he wouldn't be the Fiend, but he'd come up with something else. But yeah, there's ways to get. I mean, I think of all the times that the WWF put the title on the line against the NWA champion, and that never changed hands.
Yeah, true, but Tony Khan isn't a guy that's like, let's just do a DQ finish, guys.
Well,
Like,
and that's one of the good things about AEW.
There's only been like one DQ finish in AEW history, right? That's impressive, honestly.
I didn't even think about that. That's a good point, especially if that's an accurate number. Wow.
I seem to remember it was like Punk versus Omega 2 or something, where like, or no, like Pac versus Omega 2.
Okay.
Pac had like hit Omega with a chair at some point, and he got DQ'd for that, I think. But that was the only time it's ever happened.
Yeah.
If they want to do an inconclusive finish, it's usually like cheating or
what about
like a time limit draw.
Well, time limit's an option. What about a double count out or something like that? They just get so heated up the outside and they lose track of the count.
Yeah, but like that's also that would be kind of too hard because like if it's a New Japan show, right?
20 count.
The New Japan rules would still like apply, so like a 20 count. So yeah.
Cup of coffee.
How do you not get back in the ring after 20 counts? You know?
Like I said, they get really revved up in the moment. It's personal, damn it.
And of course, we've got the Madison Square Garden sellout performer, Jay White.
Yep.
He's definitely going to have something. That's generally my favorite gimmick, is just Jay White pretending he was the reason that the New Japan MSG show was sold out and not the other like Bullet Club members.
Yeah, nobody else on the card had anything to do with it. But
Yeah,
at the same point in time, he was in the main event, right?
Yeah, he was the world champion of New Japan at the time.
So you get to claim that you sold the place out when you're going in with that. Yeah, if you're the main event, you get to say it.
I will say Okada is at least definitely like somewhat of a draw in the U.S. just because he was one of the draws for All In. He was the main draw for the New Japan show after the Elite all left.
Mm-hmm.
So if they get Okada for this show, I think they'll be fine.
Well, and when is what's the date?
Okada's just the best wrestler in the world.
Have they announced the date for this yet?
It's the 19th of June.
So we got some time yet to build for it.
Yeah.
And have they announced
we also
the
got
location?
The Double or Nothing.
Yes. And location for this, is it going to be in Japan?
It's going to be in Chicago.
Would they be better off in Japan? No, the Chicago crowd has always been a good wrestling crowd. I'm not going to take that away, but yeah, okay, it'll be interesting.
I think it'll honestly be a good break because ever since COVID, Japanese fans are not allowed to cheer at all.
Yeah, but they generally didn't anyway.
Well, yeah, but they would if there was like a big moment, they'd start cheering,
Would
right?
they?
And like yeah.
I've always found them a very quiet audience. Respectful, I guess, is the word they like to use. Wrestling Purist says that for this to work, first things first, we've got to cut out the funny shtick and make it serious. I didn't see anything funny, though. Jay White was pretty serious.
What are you talking about? You take out the funny and make it serious in a New Japan AEW show when one of the most like over acts in New Japan is a guy who sells bootleg DVDs.
Again, I don't know this about their product, so there you go. I'm learning.
Yeah, like New Japan has Christopher Daniels' gimmick in New Japan was that he pretended to be Japanese and wore a mask and called himself Curry Man.
That I remember from when he brought it to Impact.
Yeah, like Japan does comedy too, guys. It's still funny. Okada, one of the best wrestlers in the world, when he goes and does a crossbody, would say Scooby Dooby Doo. And he's literally a multi-time world champion.
Well, I guess
it's
we'll have to wait and
fun
see how that turns out.
Guys. There was like one of Okada's like story arcs after he lost the belt was that he started taking balloons to the ring and dyed his hair red and was not. He was just not doing good in wrestling, and that was part of the gimmick. Was that he was not wrestling well.
That sounds a little bit like Baron Corbin when he was down on his luck.
Yeah, essentially. But like, Okada was still like trying. You know, like he still won matches, right? It's just like, man was depressed because he lost a belt that he held for 2 years. Anyone would be depressed after that.
I would agree with that. Do you watch Impact last night at all?
No, I don't really catch like Impact live or whatever. I know the FBI were apparently on the show, and
Yes,
they wrestled
they were.
Matt Cardona and Brian Myers.
Indeed, and I was mentioning earlier they didn't even barely gloss over the fact that Myers and Cardona had been feuding in Impact, and now suddenly they're a tag team. You know, there was no real story to it other than they said, "Oh, we just realized we're better off together." Okay, but it was kind of cool seeing
Cardona turned heel, and Myers is already a heel. They like each other, so they became partners again. It's like getting mad if like the Hardy Boys reunite. It's like, yeah,
they never should have been fighting in the first place. Even when the Hardys went at each other, it just wasn't believable. I mean, it was exciting, and I remember their WrestleMania match had one hell of a finish to it. But it is what it is. I mean, never for a moment did we really think they were enemies and trying to hurt each other.
They made Matt say he kayfabe killed Jeff's dog. And it still didn't
that
work.
was horrible, too. I mean, I get sometimes they want to blur the lines and bring reality into it and all that. But, man, when the guy's dog actually really died in a fire, I'm sorry. I just can't.
Just don't do it.
Yeah, that was crossing the line for me, but it is what it is. I mean, it's no worse than Katie Vick, I guess.
Yeah, but the thing that gets me, right, I just found this out, like, recently. The Katie Vick angle was meant to bring up a guy from developmental. Like,
well, that got squashed pretty quick.
Yeah, like the guy, like after Kane and Triple H had their feud, right?
Mm-hmm.
Triple H would still have won, right? Because Triple H wins, yeah. And then Katie Vick's brother, Sean Vick, would have came to defend her honor and try and beat Triple H.
I was wondering how that could get any worse. You just helped me figure it out. Oh, my goodness. Well, the other matches last night, let's go over this a little bit. We had Shira, big sumbitch, going up. Everybody's getting giants all of a sudden. I mean, it's like they're dropping out of cherry trees around here. So you got Shira with Raj Singh going up against Gabriel Rodriguez. And, of course, Shira gets an easy win in that one. You got Honor No More. I like them a lot. I really do. Got Mike Bennett, Matt Taven, Kenny King, and Vincent with Eddie Edwards and Maria Kanellis. That's a full roster right there by itself. Going up against the Bullet Club, Jay White, beg your pardon, Chris Bay, and the Good Brothers. And the Bullet Club gets the clean win in that one with the Magic Killer.
Yeah. Once again, New Japan goes over Ring of Honor.
Yeah, and I like the fact that they're kind of... I don't know why Impact and AEW ended the relationship. Man, that had so much potential.
Well, like, they didn't, like, end it. They just, like, aren't doing, like, official collaborations.
Well, they should be.
Yeah.
I think it would be a bigger draw in Chicago, quite honestly, but we'll see. Maybe not. I don't know. Again, the AEW audience definitely has a knowledge, for the most part, I think, of New Japan. I'm probably in the minority of AEW fans that doesn't. So we'll see how that all plays out. But if they do a good build...
Like, at this point, AEW has a second promotion on of its own now. So, like...
True.
Like, if they were to do cross-promotion with Impact, like they were doing, it would kind of be strenuous on the talent, right? Like, I'm not expecting the whole AEW roster to be on Ring of Honor, but, like, I expect at least a few of them.
Yeah, but think about this, too, though. Ring of Honor, well, AEW, Ring of Honor, both. AEW's got so much talent. I mean, their roster is ridiculously big. And they could easily spread these folks out and get them some more minutes in the ring by having multiple shows. So you've got AEW, you got 2 shows right there. Then you got Ring of Honor. Presumably that'll be another show. And then if you had Impact, that gives you another outlet so that everyone is getting some ring time on a regular basis instead of every other week or every third week in some cases. How many people have we not even seen at all in 3 or 4 weeks now? Most of those are names that I don't mind not seeing, to be honest with you. But I look at what they're doing with Ring of Honor already, bringing guys like Toa Leona in there. And this is a guy, I called this guy out months ago saying, this is the next big thing. You guys got to keep an eye on him. He's legit. He's a big guy. He can do all kinds. And now finally he has a platform other than Dark that a lot of people don't even watch, where hopefully he will get more eyes on him, because this guy, he can be a monster main event.
Just like Wardlow.
More than that. I look at him and I think of, hell, I'm going to draw a blank again. MLW former champion. What's his name there?
Jacob Fatu.
There you go, Fatu. And then some. I mean, Fatu is a big guy and can move, but he ain't a big guy like this. This is a big... Look, I wouldn't want to run into Jacob Fatu in a dark alley either, but this is the guy who would be the dark alley. I mean, there would be no getting around him. He'd just pick up a dumpster and smash you over the head with it.
I think last time I was on this open mic or whatever, we had like this whole thing where you were like, I don't see Wardlow as the main event. And then on this episode of Dynamite, comes out, no music, just handcuffed, no special entrance, no pyro, nothing. And the crowd is still hot for this man. And then he wrestles a good match against The Butcher. And then he's still hot while they freaking handcuff him again. Like, he's over, brother.
You know, the thing about The Butcher is the name that just doesn't do anything for me, but I'm really starting to like him more and more in ring. He's got a good look to him, and he can move too. I mean, he's just a big old throwback wrestler. So I'm digging him now. I just wish they'd come up with a name. I mean, every time I look at The Blade and The Butcher, all I think of is like John Tenta being called Shark. It's like, how much effort went into that?
Yeah, it's honestly, it is a little like impressive that like 2 of the like worst AEW debuts still like panned out pretty well. Like the Dark Order, I thought was gonna just not be a thing in like 3 months, but now they're still like around, and the Butcher and the Blade.
Yeah, they could be doing a little bit more. They could be doing more with them because they're really over. I think the fans generally like them, except for the fact that they're never winning anything. It's like you never really let them have the opportunity. John Silver, I like him. Man, he's again a throwback kind of guy, like an Ivan Putski. He ain't the biggest guy, but he's thick as shit, and he's got some power to him, and he's got a great personality. If you ever watch any of like of Ali's vlogs and stuff on YouTube, where he's part of it, I mean, he's got a great personality. This is the kind of guy you totally would want to hang out with.
Yeah, I think with the Dark Order, it's just a case of like, you know, like there's a lot of talent in the locker room, right? And these guys are over. They're good wrestlers, right? But like, they can win like matches, but like they can't win the titles, right?
Yeah.
They're over, but they're not that like over enough that like we should derail plans for this, you know what I mean? Like
that also goes back to the point though with the saturated roster not getting enough time to do anything with them, so that if you did indeed have Ring of Honor as an option for them, and if you did have Impact as an option for them, that would probably give them more of an opportunity. Look what Matt Cardona's done with all these multiple federations and promotions that he goes to. It's like he's always in front of a camera one way or another. And by hopping over to GCW or to Impact or NWA, he's everywhere. He's got his thumb in every pie there is. Andrew Roberts, welcome up. And what's up is you, man. At the top of the chat, you'll see I've pinned the link for the Skype conversation. So if you want to actually get on the hot mic, just join us right there in the room. And Purist was funny because he says, yeah, Butcher, the baker, and the candlestick maker. And that's kind of the way I look at these names. It's like, give them a real name, something that pop, something that's got power, that strikes fear in the souls of men.
I'm pretty sure they had like their actual names at the end of like it would be the Butcher Andy Williams and the Blade Baxton Summer for like a little bit.
I've never
I guess
never heard them called that until right now.
Maybe that's just like how they get billed on indie shows or whatever, but I don't know.
What was the other name? Braxton Summer?
Braxton Summer, yeah.
That's a damn good name. I would go with that over, what was it, Blade? Is that Blade's real name? Because I didn't even know.
That's what his Impact name is. That's what it, like, he has, that's just what his wrestling name's always been.
I would totally go with that. That's a much better name. That's got some badass to it. What was the other one?
But it doesn't go with the gimmick, brother. You know.
Sure it could. Why not?
Mark Calloway's a cool name, but like he doesn't call himself that as the Undertaker.
He was playing a different kind of character, and quite honestly, he had to completely get away from that when he joined the WWE. He was already Mean Mark Calloway. They're not going to take that and bring it into the W. They always created their own. And for him to ever have done what he did as the Undertaker, he had to have that. That's just a totally different cat there. But I like I said, I'm kind of thinking Braxton's a damn good wrestling name, and then you see this big old dude come out there. And what was the other name? Andy Williams? Is that what you said?
Andy Williams is the Butcher.
Andy or Randy?
Andy.
Yeah, there's a singer named Andy Williams from like the 70s or something like that. So that's not quite the one you're going to go with if you're going to try and sell tickets.
Andy, he's actually like a drummer for a band.
In real life?
Yeah, in real life. He does band stuff and AEW stuff at the same time.
He doesn't play drums for Fozzy, does he?
No, it's a completely separate band.
Just kidding. Damn, that's a big-ass drummer, man. Drummers normally are kind of like, you don't expect a 6'5" drummer who weighs 240.
True. But that's the thing with bands. They can be unique. They're all different types of cats. As long as they all share the same love of music, they'll make some pretty good music at some point.
Indeed. All right, once again, everybody, the link is at the top of the chat if you want to join in. Get on the hot mic. Just click on that link. You'll be invited in automatically, and then just let us know you're here, and we'll get your input. Finishing up with Impact from yesterday, Moose had to do an apology based on the fact that he was beating everybody up, I guess, and Josh Alexander's family and tormenting his son. Again, this part of the story seems a little bit familiar, like we've seen a million times in Raw, although I do think they've done a little better job of making it stand out on its own. It wasn't like he went and tried to kidnap his kid or something like that. He just telling him Moose was here, kind of gets in the kid's face and shows up at the house so that Josh knows, I know where you live, and that kind of thing. So I thought it was handled in a way where it wasn't so over the top that it was stupid. And for that reason, and Josh is selling this great, though. I mean, again, I'm more and more into his character. I just wish they'd lose, like, the amateur headgear and the tights, give him wrestling gear or even street fight gear. Because he looks much better.
He's got to wear the headgear.
Why?
So,
why does he got to?
He had, like, a head injury, and he has to wear that or it might re-aggravate his injury.
Well, I did not know that. Heather Jackson, welcome to the nation. Thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate you. By all means, feel free to jump in on the chat. Or the hot mic itself. Like I said, the link is at the top. All right, so Moose, let's see what ended up happening. Because this is where I had to turn it off and go to sleep. I was just exhausted. After much consideration.
I believe he did the same thing where it's like, I'm apologizing, and then, just hit some moves on Josh.
That's what it looks like, yeah.
Oh, darn you to heck, right? And then the episode ends. Standard.
Oh, was that the end?
Promo
I thought they had an actual match going on after that. So that was the match. So I didn't miss much then. I guess I got through all the matches. I just missed the apologize. Okay, well, in that case, But I thought the matches were good.
Okay, that is one thing Impact and AEW like doing another collab would be is just getting the North back together. You're not gonna tell me Ethan Page and Josh Alexander again at like an AEW event would not be like great. Like, I'm sorry. That was a great tag team. And I know Impact couldn't pay Ethan Page, but if they had kept them around, they probably would have had like a way better like main event scene for like at least another year.
Yeah.
Just because Ethan Page is that guy.
I stepped away from Impact for probably a year and a half or so because they weren't where they are now. Okay, the roster wasn't as good as it is. You had COVID, and they did the best they could do with COVID, but I honestly didn't think they were going to make it out the other side. Their TV programming being what it was, and they had, 30 people on a good day in that little studio that they were wrestling in for TV. It just wasn't working for me, but having seen now that they're starting to go in front of 200, 300, 400 fans or more is a lot more exciting. Just seeing them in the ECW arena, that was a decent crowd. Philly always brings a good crowd. I'm actually looking at their roster right now. Most of these guys and girls I know. However, I don't know Tasha Steelz very much at all. I don't know that I've seen her wrestle, and she's their current Knockouts champion. Trey Miguel, I've seen one or two times, so I really am not as familiar with him as I probably should be for next division champ. We got Matt Cardona with the digital media. They got the World Tag Champs, Violent by Design. I am familiar with them. I like them a lot. And The Influence. Yeah, I'm good with that. And then what else?
I still don't really get what the Digital Media Championship is all about. Like, is it a proper mid-card belt? Or is it just like a superfluous, like internet title like the BTE title is for AEW? Like, what's its deal?
I don't know.
They're wrestling actual matches for it, but like...
How long has it been around? Because I've only known of it since Matt Cardona won it.
Jordan Grace won it in online exclusive matches, and then she lost it to Cardona when he heel turned.
And that was actually a decent match, by the way, to my surprise.
I don't get what's going on, Like, it's cool that you gave the belt to Jordan Grace first, because she's not really been doing a lot.
Yeah.
But, like, at this point, just put her in, like, the world title scene or something if you need to do something with her. Don't introduce another belt that digital media, like, I get, you're saying the internet. Just say the internet championship.
Well, he's already got his own internet championship title.
Yeah.
That he made many years ago that he boasts around and stuff like that. I'm surprised he hasn't been wearing that one as well. He's got all these belts dripping off of him at this point in time. I'm surprised that one's not in the mix somehow.
He's got so many belts. He'll probably even win the Control Your Narrative belt whenever they get that.
Wouldn't surprise me in the least.
Do they even have a belt? Do they have a title? What are the rules? They have so many rules for matches, but they don't have like an actual...
They're stupid rules from everything I've heard so far.
They said you cannot do a super kick, you cannot do a Canadian destroyer, and you cannot do a suicide dive.
I think what they meant is the roster they currently have cannot do these moves.
Well, I mean, Austin Aries could do a suicide dive and a super kick.
Yeah.
But he could also do some very terrible things to women.
I was going to say, he's at the end of his career time as well, and just... We'll see. I don't know.
Man, it's so lame.
The more I'm hearing about it, the less I want to even... I'll watch an episode or whatever, however it's visible, but not with any great excitement at this moment in time.
It's so lame that, like, one of the only, like, Impact and Ring of Honor world champions in history is Austin Aries. It's like, dang, man.
Yep.
You won 2 of the biggest indie titles in the world, and you're just the worst. But Samoa Joe's okay, though, so...
Oh, yeah.
Samoa Joe.
Love me some Samoa Joe.
What a great move to pick, man. I know the roster be bloated, but, like, Samoa Joe should be on everyone's roster somehow.
Well,
He's just that good.
WWE, as usual, never did with him what they should have done with him. There was so much
He only
potential there.
won one title on the main roster, and it was the United States title.
Yeah.
And each time he lost it, it was through weird crap. Like, why?
I just
Why would you do that?
Yeah, I can't figure them out sometimes. And again, they do it to themselves.
He absolutely should have won the WWE title from AJ during their feud. Like, I get it. You want to stretch AJ's run to be like a year long, but like he can drop the belt and then get it back. It's not gonna hurt him.
I agree. So anyway, that's what we
Yeah,
had
this
for
guy-
Impact going on there. Jonah is another guy I'm really liking a lot. Former Bronson Reed. And I like big guys that can actually move. I don't mind you being a little bit round and all that kind of stuff, but when it's kind of like a Dusty Rhodes thing, when you can move and hit with some impact and the ring jumps a little bit, it just makes it all more believable and a little more exciting. I see Jonathan Gresham is on the Impact roster with the ROH title that's owned by AEW, so maybe they ain't done with their little love fest there.
Yeah, I mean the current Ring of Honor World Champion, Women's Champion, is freaking Deonna Purrazzo. So
Yep. She's got
stuff.
that and the, Mexican title of some sort? Or what's the other belt she's
The
got?
AAA title, I
AAA,
think,
yeah.
the CML one.
They're giving all
But
their belts away to North
They
America.
had her wrestle a match. They had her wrestle a match at the Impact WrestleMania weekend show,
Yeah.
right? That was the champ challenge, right? And it can't be the champ challenge if she drops the Ring of Honor belt at the Ring of Honor show that was also on the same day.
Yeah.
So they had to do this whole thing of an interim Ring of Honor women's champion.
Right. Which we all know how that's going to
Like-
end at the end of the day.
Yeah, it was honestly, it would be kind of a cool swerve if Tony said, no, Deonna Purrazzo wins the interim belt too. You thought? She's coming. I'm signing Deonna Purrazzo. I'm signing everyone. The checkbook that the cons have
Yeah.
must be hurting.
It's
Oh.
no, that ain't hurting nothing. They got an endless well of money. Believe me, they're fine. Don't you worry about them. They'll be okay. They'll come out the other side, all right. I'm
I
just
bought Ring of Honor, and then I bought all of the music rights for every theme song. So
yeah. He's got
that would definitely hurt the wallet.
he's
just
got
'cause
con money there, man. They're doing all right.
all the license.
As I continue scrolling through the roster of Impact, it is more impressive than I even thought about because you got the Motor City Machine Guns. They've always been good. Granted, they're a little older now and probably a step slower, but they're still solid. And then you got Rhino. While he's a little bit older, he still looks like he could beat anyone on any given day. He's a beast. Moose, which is a guy, I think his mic skills are actually coming along, but just his athleticism, his size, and the way he can move is incredible for a guy of his size. Sammy Callahan, what's his status? I know he's been injured. Is he back yet, or I haven't seen him.
I think he's still injured.
We know what the injury was, like knee, leg,
No,
arm. Neck.
I don't. You know, with Sammy Callahan and with most Impact wrestlers, it's kind of just like they're injured.
Yeah,
Yeah. There's no like, hey, we need to look into this.
yeah.
Oh, when can this guy show up again at the Impact tapings? You know.
Yeah,
like-
they just pop in, which is better that way to have a surprise appearance like that rather than have it known in advance. Rich Swann,
Okay.
another super talent on their roster. Man, this roster, when you scroll through it like this, it's like they should be in bigger arenas at this point in time. Got the Good Brothers.
But
You
they're
got,
Impact, so yeah, you know.
and I'll tell you what, the
It's-
inspiration on yesterday's show had a little vignette thing that they kind of did in the back room. These girls are really good on the mic and working together off of each other. Their timing is spotless. They were just finishing each other's sentences. They were on point. They got rid of Caleb with a K, which is a major victory there because he did nothing for the group. They were better off on their own. And then you got
And
Morrissey.
now they can bring him back. It's just Caleb Conley.
Yeah, you could
And
do
he
that.
can just wrestle. Former CZW champion Caleb Conley comes back to Impact.
Well, I
after
remember when he
2
was
weeks.
wrestling with NWA as Caleb Conley. And quite honestly, good job on the costume because I didn't even recognize that as being him for the longest time. I wasn't even thinking about it being Caleb Conley. I just thought it was some other dude. But it's kind of like the way Razor Ramon came in the beginning. It's like I had no idea that was Scott Hall. And they didn't do a whole lot to change his face, really, other than let him grow out the beard a little bit and wax down his hair a bit. But, yeah, for the longest time, I did not put 2 and 2 together on that. Then you got Morrissey, who's a legit beast, who can, again, move. I mean, look at all the size and ability. And then you got Ziggy Dice, who, God forbid, if somebody doesn't pull the trigger on this guy and let him loose. He's got so much personality that hasn't been touched with the NWA, which the story on that came out. And he basically told the story anyway, his side of it, which is that Nick Aldis held him back. And then you see Nick Aldis doing some appearances in Impact, and I'm thinking, shit. Now that Zicky's not part of the
He's
deal.
gonna win the NWA title back again.
Oh,
Win it.
that would be a mistake. I'm sorry. Nick, he can wrestle, but he's boring.
That's the biggest thing that I think really killed NWA is just Nick Aldis is world champion forever. Like,
I mean, they
say
didn't
what
have
you
anyone
will
better to
about-
give it to at the time in his defense, but damn.
Say what you will about Jeff Jarrett NWA title reigns.
Ugh.
At least he was like a hated heel that people wanted to see get beat up by the faces. Nick Aldis's character is that he is either a face or a heel that is boring
Yeah.
and just wants wrestling to be back to being boring.
Well, they got what they wanted with that, I guess. Shockwave Wrestling, welcome aboard. And it's going well. Thanks for asking. World Championship Gaming in the house. John Wesley Thomas, how you doing? And Matthew Soper. Good to see you and hear you guys. And actually, you can jump in if you want on the hot mic. Just go up to the top of the chat. You're going to see the link right there. And join us on Skype. It's audio only, as you can tell. So you don't have to have a camera hookup. Just got to have a mic hookup. And it's anything right now. It's wide open today. We're talking about some Impact from yesterday, talking a little bit about the whole Forbidden Door pay-per-view, and early on thoughts and hopes for what may or may not be on the card. And then we can talk about 2K22, but my God, that story just never seems to end.
Former Impact Wrestling star Jonah hidden in the 2K22 files.
The actual character
there's-
model?
Yes, the Bronson Reed DLC model that was gonna come out is in the files of 2K22
Ooh.
on PC.
Well, they're not going to be allowed to upload that one.
Yeah, I don't think it's not even like even like what's the status and all those guys that like are use their chicanery
Yeah.
to upload the things to CC. They can't get Jonah because Jonah's model is like in a blank character slot.
Mm.
It's like the last time something like this happened was in 2K19. Big Cass was supposed to be in the game, right? And he had like his model and everything, but it was all assigned to a blank character like slot before the game came out. So you couldn't properly play as him or get his model in the game, and someone only just discovered it through like looking through the files. Right, and it's the same thing with Jonah.
Well,
But at least Jonah got replaced with Casey Catanzaro, so I guess that's okay.
yeah, I'm a fan of hers. I liked her back when she was on American Ninja. I thought she did a phenomenal job. I mean, a little tiny girl like that and managing to get through that course the way she did. And you got to do some hopping, jumping, and stuff because she's got short arms and she's got to get across that third leg of that race. Now that was a blow-away, super impressive performance. And she won a lot of people's hearts and fans in that one and able to transition. She did a good job.
Honestly, I say it worked out the best because, Casey taking over Jonah's slot in the DLC means that there's at least one lady in each DLC pack, and
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, that's good.
We need more. We need more women wrestlers. If you're trying to play GM mode, it's kind of impossible. And now they've added women's tag titles. It's a mess. You can't properly book a women's tag division because there's not enough female wrestlers.
I don't even mess with GM mode, so that's not going to affect me in any way. We're talking about 2K at the moment, so let's the Alexa Bliss 20 model that's been out for a while. That I believe what's the status managed to get, and it was all fine and dandy. And then the patch came out. Now she has these white bands around her thigh, just above the knees. And there's different methods of trying to correct this error. Well, I can tell you on mine, any attempt to edit that particular model gives me the hard crash, and the hard crash means I literally just go to the blue screen and it freezes there. I've got to hard reset the PlayStation, which that's not good for your external hard drive, and it's a good 5 minutes before you're back up and running again. So I don't know if there's any connection between the fact that these are not really modded because they're in the game. They're just not really meant to be in the roster. But I think that there's a good chance they're going to, because they did rename her, that there's a good chance they're just going to put it maybe with the next patch as part of the playable roster, including some of the other MyRise characters, because there's been a real cry out by the community for that to be added. And maybe that's the game plan.
Like this patch, they made it so that you can take off the Retribution guy's mask, like without having to do like a glitch exploit. So like they're clearly listening to what people like want to do. They added the tag belts in GM mode, which people wanted. That's the thing, right? Like the game is buggy, right? I've not actually experienced a lot of bugs for some reason. Like I've seen a lot of other people have bugs, but then I'm just playing it like, like I have issues because the PC that I use it on is a little finicky, but like I think that's just off my PC just not being able to handle the game as it should be able to. But like gameplay wise, like nothing is like terrible, and like none of the cause are like glitched out. Like the only problem I had is like the title belts, but I don't know what the title belt situation is. I just think the lighting got messed up somehow, and they're just trying their best to fix it. It's like
there's a lot to fix there too, and Shockwave brings up some of his woes over here. I'd actually like to see my uploads on the upload screen. And hey, 2K, why don't you give us the option to delete out uploads? So I haven't even tried that because I only uploaded maybe 5 things this year. So you're telling me there's not an option to delete things that you've uploaded, even though there's like a
I'm
cap?
pretty sure I deleted the thing I uploaded, so I don't know.
Well, it might be him having the problem, because I know a lot of people were able to fix the Alexa Bliss model, but mine I can't do anything with, so I'm probably just going to delete it altogether because I don't want anything that might crash my system again. I've just now...
And you can download one of the fixed versions or something like that.
Well, there isn't a fixed version. What they've got is you take the 20 model, and then there's a secondary model that has the fix, but it doesn't have the ponytails, for example. So if you wanted that look, which I would like that, that's always my favorite version of her. Although I do kind of like her Fiend thing. I know a lot of people don't. I actually do, because she can pull it off. That girl is so friggin' talented. She really should look into acting, because she's amazing. The facials and that she can do it. Should be awesome doing like a horror flick or anything for that matter. She could probably pull off a drama. And so anyway, you get the other version of her, which is kind of fiendish, and then that has the attire fixed properly. So you have the 2 attires now downloaded, and then you basically transfer and upload the secondary attire into the ponytail attire. My problem is anything I change on her and then go to save is just going to crash the game, so it won't help me. And I know different people have different issues, even though it's the same character everyone's playing with. Some people can do it, Some people can't.
Also, in recent like patch news, once again, sneaking around the files, right? People found the DLC stuff already, like there, and we've already gotten like looks at Umaga and all those guys' entrances. But then they also found 80s Hogan without
Yeah.
bandana.
Yeah, I've seen it. It's not really 80s Hogan. I mean, he's got a little bit of hair going on the top, but it's not accurate for the character. He's still got a big old bald spot there. I don't know how hard it is just to give him a head of hair that he had in the 80s. I mean, he had hair.
Well, from what I hear, he's WrestleMania 6 Hogan, and I'm pretty sure that Hogan had the bald spot at
Yeah.
like it was starting.
No, by 6 he was pretty there. He didn't have much going on the top at that point. But WrestleMania,
Like, they found,
WrestleMania
like, a
2,
whole
he still
lot
had
of
hair by WrestleMania 2.
tires.
By
Like, a
86,
whole
he
lot
still
of
had it.
WrestleMania tires.
So,
I guess they're doing like WrestleMania tires in my faction, which I mean I go off, but like you couldn't have done this during WrestleMania.
you know, they're
That
still...
don't make sense.
It's the dog chasing its tail thing with them a lot of times. And Shockwave says, you guys ever notice, yes, and the answer is yes to this. You guys ever notice on the community creations why certain creators have multiple versions of the same character? The answer to that, for the most part anyway, because it happened to me too, is that there's times where you upload a character and it doesn't appear, so you think it didn't upload, and you do it again. By the time you realize it, it's uploaded like 3 or 4 times. The other reason I've seen people do it is they'll upload it and then a short time later make some sort of tweak or change and then upload it again, which makes me believe what you might have said earlier, Shockwave, is probably got some merit to it. If they could have deleted the older one, why wouldn't they have? And just kept the more recent one with the additional content. So maybe there isn't. Well, you know what? Let me check right now. Why am I asking? I got the little opportunity here. Get the controller ready to go. Let's see. And like I said, I don't have a lot to mess with here, but we can check. Going to creations, my uploads. If it'll even show me anything, who knows?
Another thing that's really worth asking is why wasn't an 80s Hogan in the base game?
Hell if I know.
Like that's another thing I didn't get with 2K20 is like you have Hulk Hogan come back, and I get why you make him Hollywood Hogan from 2002 or whatever.
Okay, I've got a delete option on mine, not to interrupt, but when I pull up my Chris Rock, for example, it says I can delete it. I'm not going to, but it says I can. And it's not showing me, though. I'm almost positive I got some King Kong Bundy stuff, which isn't showing up. Let me see real quick. Let me do a search for my tag here. And that's not going to work. I got to get out of that mode first. Hold that thought. Okay. Downloads. There we go. Let's jump in here real quick. By the way, there's some good-looking stuff by some of my favorite creators here. We can look at that real quick in a second, too. Hashtags. Yeah, One Nation. Yeah, when I do my search tags, the King Kong Bundys are there, and there's 3 of them, and that's why there's 3 of them, because I didn't know that it was uploading. It wasn't showing, just like it's not showing me now. And the Ronda Rouseys, which I think I tried deleting them. I guess once you upload them, they're staying in the system. You can delete them from your local, but it looks like they're in community creations forever. It's kind of weird.
Forever. Scenario. You can never take it back, brother. So watch what you upload.
All right, let me take a
Which
look.
honestly is a good lesson. Don't be uploading shenanigans. Make every upload count, brother.
All right, we're going to take a look at it. So there's an Adam page that was just recently put up by Diffract, and anyone who doesn't know Diffract, this guy makes some pretty incredible stuff. And I've already got Adam Page, and he's already got the belt, and he's in Universe. I just don't want to start all over again by deleting them and uploading, but this is a really amazing work. He went so far as to color each of the threads on the vest, so far as the little tassels, individually. I mean, this guy put insane amounts of time into this thing. It looks really good. He did an amazing job on the hair. He always does. This guy's got really detailed work. And hoping to have him at some point in time on the Inside the Creator Studio program, which will be back on Monday. The plan is Monday at noon. We'll be kicking that off with one of our favorite creators. I'm not going to tell you which one yet, but look for that as a world premiere video on Monday here on the Nation Network at 12 noon. What else do we have here? Chris Statlander, another really solid one. This one was done by a guy named Enenra Cause, and this is the first thing that I've seen him do. But the face model is really good. The attires are pretty solid as well. She's got a tough gimmick when it comes to making her attires, because she's got those leg ribbon straps, whatever the hell you want to call them. And it's very hard to replicate that smoothly, but he did a pretty good job. As good as anybody. Let's see if there's anything else he's done here that may have seen before. Tyler Wolf. He's got a Ricky Starks. Kip Sabian. Oh, he did the other Chris Statlander too, which is interesting because that one is my favorite. I just didn't realize it was the same guy. So there you go. He's got both Chris Statlanders. That's why the face was so spot on. Yeah, Shockwave, I agree. There are some amazing creators out there, and I'm really hoping. I've reached out to a bunch of them in the last 24 hours, still waiting to hear back, hopefully. I just love the idea of giving them the opportunity to come out and field some questions and things like that, and give us an opportunity to pick their brain about different techniques they may use or things they've learned in doing it for as long as they have, because we got guys out there who have done this for a long time. Here's a Powerhouse Hob by Dre, which I think I downloaded that one. Oh, that's a moveset. Sorry. That's what I was supposed to be doing today, but that didn't happen because I've been rebuilding my roster, but not all of them have the accurate movesets to their set, so I've got to look back on that and see how many of them I have to import. And Magic Man's in the house. Good evening to you. What day of the week are we on? Today is Thursday, right? Or no, Friday.
It's Friday.
It's Friday. Thank you, Jesus. So who's on?
SmackDown's happening, brother.
Yeah, I was going to say, who's on TV tonight? It's like every night somebody's on. Yeah, SmackDown, what time are we at now? Another half hour. I always want to let it have a good hour start so I can fast forward through stuff I don't want to see. Which with WWE, sadly, is most of its programming. But I do love me some Roman Reigns and Bloodline. Hopefully they're going to have a fun spot tonight.
Roman after he beats Nakamura, or Nakamura's like 5th world title loss.
Yeah.
Like,
Element Games, I don't know if you guys follow Element Games, but he does a really good job of making short videos using the 2K product, which is a lot tougher this year, and he's still finding a way to do it. It's really good camera angle work and all that kind of good stuff, and he cuts in some of the audio clips and the play-by-play stuff to tell a story, and his most recent video is probably about 8 minutes long, maybe 10 minutes long, the way to bring Bray Wyatt back. And he does a hell of a job at telling what would be an incredible return. So if you haven't checked that out, go check that out at some point in time because it's really good. And again, that's Element Games. If you're not familiar, it's got like 800,000.
Also, last time I was on, we decried the whole Ezekiel gimmick, but now I have come to say I was wrong. This Ezekiel gimmick is over, brother.
Yeah, they dropped the ball on that. That's why I like the one I'm doing. And if I can ever get this universe mode back up and running, we can continue on with it because I see a lot of potential. McMahon, apparently the story is Vince McMahon, when they were redressing him in the new costume and trying to figure out what to do with him, made him shave the beard and mustache because when he's looking at him wearing the tights that he's wearing now, damn it, he looks too much like Macho Man Randy Savage. And I'm like, dumbass. Play off of that. You know, have him, you know, what I've done. You know, I had him go up against Brock Lesnar, and Lesnar beat the ever-living shit out of him, dropped him on his head a few hundred times. Now he has a concussion and wakes up thinking he's Randy Savage.
Yeah, but the Ezekiel gimmick is working for me. I don't know.
Oh,
That
you're
live
liking it?
test. Yeah, I'm liking it, brother. It's like Mr. America. So hopefully this one won't peter out after Ezekiel gets fired. Please don't. Please don't do it.
I don't know. Mr. America never really got
I don't
over
know. I
on
think
me.
maybe it's because everyone else is playing it straight and thinking Ezekiel is just Ezekiel, and Kevin Owens is the only person that's like, no, it's Elias, and he's going crazy over it. And I think Kevin Owens is just a very good, solid hand. He's gonna get every angle that he does over, basically.
Yeah, he's solid, no doubt about it.
And right now, I think this angle is over with the crowd, brother. Especially because they put Chad Gable into the lie detector test thing, too. And Chad Gable's over. So, you've got a lot of over parts here. So, everything's going to be over, brother.
Yeah, and then the writing staff will just screw it all up and shove it up their asses. That's kind of the way they work. Magic Man,
Chad Gable
keep it up with these
is
videos.
very good.
I've seen a whole lot of
Chad
crashing
Gable
going
is
on.
very good.
Yeah, Magic Man, there is a lot of crashing going on, and it's everybody. Different, and that's a weird thing. It does hit different. Everybody, it hits them different. Like with my case, I've got a few that will just crash the game automatically if I try to do anything with them. Other people, it's the GM mode. It's pick your poison with this game at this point in time. And for anything that the patch may have fixed, it's equally messed other things up. So they're consistent. That's the only thing I can say about it is they are consistent. As for Shockwave, I think that's the quote of the night right there, buddy. Oh, my goodness. Or, I'm sorry, that was Magic Man with a quote. 2K games are as stable as Biden at a press conference. Couldn't agree more.
It's like that. It's like how in all the, like, iceberg videos, it's like every copy of something is personalized, right? But like with 2K22, it kind of feels like it is. Like, everyone has something different going on with their copies, man.
Yeah, pretty much. Dookie, Wilkos, welcome aboard, buddy. And what do I give the new game on a scale of 1 to 10? It's going to sound silly, and it's going to sound vengeful and spiteful, and it's not. It's a 1, because I can't play it. It's that simple. If I can't play the game, I don't care how good it looks. I don't care how much you've put into the camera work and the lighting. All of that stuff, phenomenal improvements. Give you credit for that. It does me no good. I can't play the game the way I'm supposed to be able to play it. It crashes on me. I had to delete my entire roster, my entire universe mode. That's a 1. It's not ready for launch again. And this time you had 2 years. So that's my rating for it, a 1 out of 10. PFW, welcome aboard. We've done a lot of chat about Impact yesterday. We've done some chat about the Forbidden Door coming up and what we think might happen, what we'd like to see happen, things of that nature. Cade's been here keeping me company as well and adding to the physical conversation as well as the typed conversation you guys have been adding in there. And we picked up another Nation member, so that's a great stream so far as I'm concerned. Can't complain.
Yeah.
Yeah, backing up. Shockwave, that's what you got to do. You got to back everything up. Like, I just got 85% of my roster back over, the last 24 hours. And all I'm doing is saving it before I even go into universe mode. This way, if that's an issue, at least my roster will still be there. But, man, if it does it again, I'm done. I'm not going to keep doing this. I'm spending another 2 days, even though all I'm doing is downloading other people's creation. All that takes time. And then once it's in, there's certain things some of them don't have entrances, some of them don't have move sets. It's a time-consuming thing, and then it's just going to get wiped out with an update patch? Nah, man.
But at least with the update patch, you'll be able to do the Retribution 4-man entrance. Nah.
Who cares? Magic Man, what's more likely to happen in the coming years? Inflation and food prices go down, or 2K finally puts a complete working game? Yeah, it's a coin toss on that one. I would say your better odds are going to be that the inflation will go down before that 2K is going to put out a game that works. And I'm just basing that on history and all, but that's where I would put my money if I was going to bet it.
I think with at least this, they've got at least sort of a good foundation compared to 2K20. So, next year will probably be better, and the year after that will probably be better.
Well, they don't need to do it every year. They need to take another 2-year hiatus and fix everything. And then you can start. In the meantime, you can do these incremental patches and fix the stuff that you keep breaking. And then you can even do a little bit of... You can even add some DLC, put in a Cody Rhodes and maybe 1 or 2 other guys. It's not like they can't just as soon do that. They can scan them in. They can make models for them. They can import it. It's all doable. And then take the time to really fix the game, so that the next one that comes out is in better working condition. And then you can create a story to it, and you can put the promos back in and things like that. Magic Man quoting Dumb and Dumber over here. So you're saying there's a chance? Yeah. It's like 1 in a million, like she said. All right. Well, listen. It's been the hour mark. I do want to check out SmackDown on Fast Forward for the most part. Hopefully there'll be a few things that keep my attention. I want to say thank you all for joining us here in the chat room. Kate jumping in on the Skype. And we'll be doing this again in the very near future. Remember, Monday, the plan is 12 noon world premiere video. I'll be here with you guys for that as long as everything goes according to plan. I've got somebody lined up for a Sunday interview. We'll get to know a little bit more about the person behind the creations that we all like so much. So to tune in on Monday at noon, you'll find out who that is, because I'm not giving it away. I'm also trying to set it up with several other people as well so that we can have them once every few weeks and space it out. I'd like to get it all done, recorded, and edited up nice so I can just time them out and have that going out there. But I really like the idea of shining a spotlight on some of these guys and girls that spend a lot of time and energy putting stuff out there that we love to download. It keeps the game fresh when it works, which right now isn't as often as it should be. So thank you guys for being here. Kate, again, thank you so much. I appreciate you jumping on the Skype with me. Look forward to doing it again in the very near future. Have a wonderful night, everybody. Stay safe, and I will catch you on the next time from ringside. So long and good night.